Molly May, will you come out to play? Your smile takes the edge off of the day, and you're a light that brightens.
This is Molly May, a Bod Paz Pod and other nice stuff with me, Molly May. Guten Morgen, it is Molly in your earbuds here again. Thanks for joining me again. I want to start the pod today with 3 top-of-mind things that are making me incredibly happy right now. 1, what garment I cannot take off. Like, what outfit I cannot get enough of. And this one is near and dear to my heart. The weather is a balmy 26 degrees in Minnesota right now. So it's finally officially Vag Wolf jacket weather. If you're new to my life, you have no idea what Vag Wolf is, who Vag Wolf is. We are a Virginia Woolf tribute band. We're huge in Iowa, and that is an incredibly false line that me and my favorite girlfriends give to men at bars. Vag Wolf is my closest feminine girl gang. We are a group of women who really came together in undergrad in a red state, and our bond has only grown and grown and grown and grown. And of course, like any really great girl gang, we had custom jackets made, and I am so excited to be wearing mine right meow. It is made of blue satin, and the company that we designed them through is Clotho, Clothoo. It's overseas, but like you're in control of like everything on this garment. And like obviously like we didn't have the money to like go to the LA fashion district and like pick out our own fabric, but this was like incredible. So this jacket is a blue satin, like vintage bomber style, like a club jacket, like a baseball coat. So it's baby blue, and we have a Vag Wolf logo that we created together. That's like a symbolism of, getting drunk on the cusp of the South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa border. And summers at this cheap, dirty, what we called the bean pool. And we were all together, the summer that Michael Jackson, rest his soul, left us. So he was a big part of our logo mark as well. So that's like kind of where this all started. So we have this patch of our logo in gold. So we call it our baby blues. And on the back, we have this giant patch. And it just feels so good when we wear it. When Trump was elected, we went to New York and marched and wore these coats. And we marched in the Women's March with these coats in DC and in Minneapolis, respectively. And it's always like, oh my God, I'm tearing up. I love this garment so much. It feels like home. And oh my God, I get so excited when I wear it, and they get so excited when we wear it. And then when we're together, like, holy shit, we are a force. So I'm so excited to be in it again. And it feels so good when we wear it together, but like even when we're separate, it's like not only is it warm, but it's like warm. You know what I mean? It's warm. So next I want to touch on who to follow, like aside from like my entire Vag Wolf pack, which I'll throw up their Instagram ats. Who to follow on Instagram. I'm going to get there because I'm going to tell this whole LA, Hollywood, very severe name droppy story. And that's not normal, but like this is the one opportunity in my life where I will ever be able to name drop Chrissy Teigen and Kim Kardashian in the same breath. And I just did it there, so I'm going to do it again, and it's going to feel really, really good. The song of the day today is Just Walk Away. It's so hard. It's hard to say. Just Walk Away, Renee. Say that 3 times fast. Just walk away, Renee. Just walk away, Renee. Just walk away, Renee. By The Left Bank. I think it's German because it's Banky. Anyway, Google it. We're putting together a Spotify playlist, so it'll be on there. Which leads me to this next thing, because that song is such a good oldie, like airplane song. There's something about when you travel solo. So I was flying to LA for this conference, and I can't help but like get really lonesome, like even when I'm in the airport alone. So there's something that happens when you have a really great playlist right as the tires are taking off. And that's what this song was for me. And it was, oh my God, it was so delicious. So please give it a listen. But I really want to dish about this Create and Cultivate conference that I was just at, which is like a movement for creative women. See what I'm doing here? A movement for creative women to create and cultivate the career of their dreams. So like being all professional, and I'm the only woman in my department at work besides my boss. And now recently being a leader in my department, I was positively psyched to get the approval to go. So if you aren't familiar with this conference, it was positively hyped to the max. So I bought my conference ticket, and then the next day, shit you not, they announced Kim Kardashian West as the final keynote, like, which obviously had an upswell in sell out of tickets. So my coworker was going to join me, but she missed her window of opportunity. So I went to this bad boy alone. Ergo, Walk Away Renee being so poignant in my headphones. So I'm going into this conference, and I don't really know what to expect besides like I always expect like a certain like conference high that you get, you know, like when you leave a conference and you're so motivated and you can take on the world and you like come back to work and you have all these amazing ideas. That's what I was expecting. So I went in and I was wearing, oh my God, my new favorite pants. They're so good. So they're like my new power pants. I was wearing my new favorite pants, and they're from ASOS, and they're a high-waisted pleated denim, and they're kind of like a old man's suit pant. Like after getting these pants, I would just want to go thrifting and get like all the big old man pants that I can get my hands on. And my favorite blouse that's like this high neck situation, like a really gorgeous royal blue with like a slight puffy sleeve and tigers all over it. So it was fierce. I felt going in very fierce. And I had like a pop of a red booty just to like give you a gentle visual. So I'm walking in, and it looks like the Instagram account Like to Know It. It's like not only was I seeing my Instagram feed, but like I stepped inside of it. Okay, and so like if you don't know the account Like to Know It, it's basically a bunch of glammed out size 6 and under. And that was like the entire visual of the day. Every woman there was decked out in her Sunday best, and it was almost overstimulating. And in one section, they had this entire like glam studio, but I think you had to be a VIP to use it, so I kind of steered clear. And like a pop-up market with stuff from LaCroix, and Lauren Conrad has a new brand that was there. Little Market, Supergoop, which is like a what do you call it? It's like a sunscreen that you can put on top of your makeup, and just like a bunch of drink me and you'll live forever kombucha style kind of eats and drinks. It was a little out of my comfort zone, and I like thought for sure that if I overindulged on these items like I typically do when I'm nervous, that I was for sure going to get diarrhea. So I spent the entire day just like being a little out of it and lightheaded. But like, yeah, there was an ear piercing place where I'm pretty positive I saw Lauren Conrad sit down to get her ear pierced, but I didn't want to gawk. So we can just say that, yes, Lauren Conrad got her ear pierced there. Don't sue me if that's not true. So this place was just like packed to the gills with like women queens. And I fully expected there to be like some rabble rousing, some like real deal Vag Wolf, like let's throw him out kind of business. But sadly that didn't happen. Okay, so the people that they brought on to be like all sagey and wise and like really champion this and like bring the entire pomp throughout the day were literally just as though my Instagram feed had come to life. Like they are my favorite people to follow. And like sometimes it didn't even feel real. And like full disclosure, I had a panic attack the night before. And so I was already walking through the day like a little foggy. So my list of who I was most excited to interact with will go as follows. Here's where I'm going to get like serious deal name droppy. I'm excited. And why or why did I not meet them? So I want to start with the founder of Refinery 29, Piera Gilardi. And I'm like, I'm not saying these people's names right, so like please forgive me. Piera was amazing, and she got an amazing panel on her experience in launching Refinery 29. And one of my favorite takeaways from her was cultivating joy in the workplace, which I mean, like, if you know anything about me, I am the ENFP Michael Scott of The Office, so like that really resonated with me. She was also wearing a red cowboy hat when she said that fashion is designed to make you feel bad and style is represented as a form of expression. Which I'm like sitting here how many days later like still trying to digest, but like that feels so profound. And like I'm sitting here right now thinking that my notes like self-doubt, like did I even get that quote right? But I feel like it's almost a semblance of the whole bit, maybe. Like the fashion industry is designed to make us feel bad, and we take elements of fashion to create our own style and like fit into the fashion industry, which is like a whole other can of worms, right? Like being a big girl and being underrepresented in the fashion world, and especially being a woman who, you know, I pride myself on my style and, you know, feeling happy in my clothes and being excited to wear my clothes. So that's, I'm going to come back to you on that one because that's, I think, really profound, and I could really dig into that. But she also left the stage with what was probably the most solid advice of the day, which was hydrate or die. It's just like, guys, you don't get better than that. So yes, Piera is a definite must follow. The next on my list, oh my God, was Busy Phillips. Oh my God. I love her so much. Did I meet her? No. Did I see her? No. Was she there? Yes, because her Instagram story told me so. And her Instagram story is the best thing on the face of this earth. And like every time she talks, I don't even know how long Instagram stories are, but every time it's like, you guys. Like every 30 seconds, it's a you guys. And they're just so good. My best friend, Molly, my best friend is not me. My best friend's name is actually Molly. And it's wildly invigorating, like having someone that you love so much have the same name as you. I highly encourage it. Like not only if you can find a Molly, never met a Molly I didn't like, but also if you can find a friend with your same name, it's just like a nice little ego boost in your life. So my best friend, Molly, has started calling watching Instagram stories her shows, like, which I'm so obsessed with. So she will just like tune in the same time every day as if she was like watching a soap opera. And like, so because of Molly, like Busy Phillips is now on my radar because Busy's a part of Molly's shows. And like actually Molly is the reason for most things being on my radar. But yes, Busy Phillips is one of the best that Molly has certainly recommended. And no, I did not meet her, but maybe someday. Tia Mowry, I think it's Mowry, was so GD cute. She's perfectly pregnant. And she just like, even while other people were talking, she just held the microphone up to her mouth and just like giggled like the entire time. And I was sitting in the second row for this one, so it kind of felt like I met her. So it was like close enough, like proximity, right? I met through air. I intensely fell in love with Ariana Wrote This. And this was during like a Let's Go There panel where they talked about taboo topics in the workplace. She's a powerhouse woman that I did not know existed before going there. She's the editor-in-chief of Create and Cultivate, and they have their new little like work baby, like a party, work baby party. It's called Work Party. As a mouthful. And she was moderating a bunch of different panels that day, but like, I'm so glad I just stopped her, and I'm going to get bleeped here, but I stopped her and I was just like, fuck yes. And like, that's all we had to do. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. Because I think she's really going to be fun to follow the rise of. I'm calling it now. That's at Ariana wrote this. Issa Rae. Guys, if you haven't watched Insecure, like we're through, turn the pot off and go turn on HBO. Seriously. She also has a best friend named Molly, which makes the show highly relevant and contagious. But was she there? I don't even know. She was apparently supposed to be there. And so my hopes were really up, but that didn't happen. Pia Arobia, who is the founder of LPA, which is a fashion label. She's also the model for Glacier's Body Hero, where she's just like full nudie and like really owning her body and like all glaciered up. She recently started the hashtag I heard she's a bitch, which is all about not speaking poorly of other women. And you know, when you find yourself like in a work situation where, you know, not even just men, but someone is putting down another woman, do not belittle their path to success and lift her up. And also she shared that she had lived with Kelly Cutrone before. Yeah, so like this girl's just like hard as nails. Like she has enough clout like just for living with Kelly Cutrone to like do anything in my mind. Tess Holiday. She's a big girl body advocate. And I will go so far as to say the boudoir shoot queen. There's like not a day. There's like not a week on our Instagram where she isn't like posting up in like full negligee. It's like, it's something. She founded at F Your Beauty Standards and is consistently a glam machine. Like consistently. I've never seen her like not dude it up. She's a major player to us big girls. And I bow to you, Tess Holiday, and thank you kindly for opening the doors to wearing what I want and being sexy and confident and happy in my body. Did I meet her? No, there's an obvious theme here. But I did sneak out of another panel that I was in, like just enough to see Tess Holiday, like very gracefully stand up and pose for a picture. And she was wearing a Premi dress, which is, oh my God, Premi. I could talk all day about this. Premi is a new plus size brand by Gabby Fresh and Nicolette Mason. And this, it was just like a mesh overlay. Oh, it was so gorgeous. Will I buy? Probably. Stay tuned. Okay, here's where we get to like the big hitters. You guys, Chrissy Teigen. And she was just like, my big takeaway from Chrissy Teigen was just like, she's so shiny. She had a slicked pony and like big, bold statement earrings, which like, I'm really proud when she walked out. I was like, oh my God, I have look like earrings like that in my ASOS bag. So I'll make sure that we share those. And she just has the most perfect, she was wearing the most perfect gold satin, like pajama inspired top with a black satin pant. And she was in conversation with Jen Atkin, who is the founder of Way Hair Products, celebrity stylist to Chrissy Teigen, the Kardashians, probably other people. I mean, she's really GD famous. But I actually found myself pining for a role reversal in the conversation where Chrissy was interviewing Jen. Because like, as much as we all love to walk around thinking we're Chrissy Teigen, like I actually do. And I'll get on my Instagram stories and I'll say, hi, I'm Chrissy Teigen. And today I'm walking the dog. But in this setting, I thought that learning about how Jen found her success to be more relevant to the entire day than just like, I don't know, Chrissy Teigen being Chrissy Teigen. Like I loved it, but yeah. Okay, guys. Kim Kardashian West, baby. Okay, so like in my daydream, and like I daydreamed about this is probably why I had a panic attack the night before. I fully expected like a lineup picture moment where we're all taking turns to pose with her in front of the step and repeat. And like, frankly, I don't know why that didn't happen. So like in prep for this event, I even asked my 6-year-old niece, what color should I paint my fingernails when I meet Kim Kardashian? And like, she doesn't know who Kim Kardashian is. So I went with what Emily Eaton calls Cajun shrimp, which was a staple color for her mama, and it served me well. But Kim didn't see that manicure. She was interviewed on stage by her childhood best friend, who honestly just wanted to talk about being Kim's best friend, like the validity of I'm Kim's best friend. Slightly annoying, but Kim had a good one-liner about not making excuses, like period, ever, and told the story about her chocolate box crusher things, you know, when she did her Valentine's Day KKW fragrance release, and someone drove them down to her after they opened up the factory just in time to have them for her for this like big press release. And then she called Courtney lazy and said that you can't be lazy in order to live out your dreams and, you know, just like go get what you want. She's a potty mouth, which I loved and identified with wholeheartedly. And I'm absolutely paraphrasing, but she did say, don't be lazy and take no excuses. Make no excuses. Like, no excuse, yarrow. And she was wearing, well, like, I really just want it to be Kanye's tux, but like that's interesting, but like that's not accurate. But interesting enough, following her the days past the conference, you guys, she's been wearing that same outfit for the last 3 days. And like, she's in Tokyo right now. So like, I know that it's not the same conference pics, which is super interesting. But she's like really tan in real life, especially like compared to her blonde friend. And like, you don't see how dark she spray tans in the context of your RGB TV screen when she's with her other sisters who are spray tanned. But it was like, oh wow, she's really tan. And she was also wearing like a full I'm washing my face now headband, which initially I was distracted by, like a full black, like almost turban moment, but not. It was like, it's what I wear when I wash my face. And yeah, so I thought it was initially ridiculous, but I'm going to redact that because in a year I will probably be wearing that same exact thing because that's how trends work. But it does not end at Kim Kardashian. The coup de grace, the queen of queens that I was most excited about, and this is like the A+ follow. If you follow anyone, don't have it be Kim Kardashian West. Have it be Jen Gotch, founder of Shop Bando. Jen is one of those women who leaves it all on the dance floor every fucking day. The brand she has created in Bando is every millennial t-shirt wearing woman's fantasy, which is like, me, hello. And she is the pinnacle of joy at work. And again, something I've been obsessing over and harnessing lately because I am Michael Scott. But she's not Michael Scott. She's Jen Gotch, and that comes through wholly in absolutely everything that she does. And it's, you know, it comes out in her brand and her personal brand and her vulnerability. So I won't get into the deep ins and outs of it. I'll save that for another time. But she was a monumental instrument in helping me figure out my brain things, aka panic disorder. So did I meet Jen Gotch? Yes, I did. So she was sick and she was coming up the stairs. And because I like know all of these people, like they're my high school sweethearts. Thank you, Instagram. I looked at her wincing in pain as she was walking up the stairs, and I just like cocked my head to the side and I was like, oh, Jen Gotch. And like, as I looked at her, I said that. And I walked over to her and she looked up at me with sadness. She looked up at me. She was like 2 stairs down. So she was looking up at me with sadness in her eyes and just said, ugh, I'm sick. And I said something about nothing, like I rambled on a little bit. And then I told her, before you bounce, I just wanted to tell you how I value your vulnerability around your anxiety and depression and how helpful it's been for me in being able to talk about it at work since my diagnosis. Which, like, if you don't follow Jen Gotch, it's like your one to do for the day. She has a level system, much like my family does, on how drunk we are. So she has a level system on how good or bad she's feeling that day, because chemicals in our brain are sneaky and they don't care what's going on in your life or what you have to do that day or how long you've spent on your glitter eyeliner. And she's so raw and open about it. And she really broke down for me the wall that there's no shame in my mental can and cannots. And I can own it and talk about it, because the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it. And you'd be surprised the amount of people that are actually in that boat with you, with us. And she hugged me, and then she went to the doctor and got an IV. And I know all of this because she lives in my phone at all times. She's mine. And it was just like so perfectly lovely. But this one is going to come as a shock. The person who does not live in my phone and the person who I probably had the biggest fangirly moment of. And this wasn't at the conference. This happened I was at a Shoshana Bean show. And I'll get there. But you guys, I saw Stanley Hudson from The Office. Okay, so I just want to say again, Stanley Hudson from The Office was not at the Creative Women Boss Ass Bitch Conference. It's just like, can we get that visual for a second? Okay, so Stanley Hudson from The Office was at Shoshana Bean's album release show, which was, okay, she's another person to follow. She's everything like refined and hilarious, and has the most gorgeous set of pipes this world has ever heard. She played Elphaba after Idina Menzel on Broadway, just to like give you a flavor of her brilliance. Like, who can follow Idina Menzel? Oh, Shoshana Bean. So she had her album release show, which was full ball gown, spotlight, Barbra Streisand, 18-piece band. Like, this was no joke. It's like Lance Bass was there. I'm getting name droppy. Lance Bass was there. The guys from the Modern Family. But like, who took my breath away? Fucking Stanley Hudson from The Office. Okay, so we were belly to belly, and the mezzanine was packed after the show. And I was in front of the cake table. And, like, we weren't really moving. So in my head, I'm going, oh my God, what's his name? You know his real name. Don't fucking call him Stanley from The Office. And as I'm having this inner monologue, he looks at me wide-eyed like only Stanley Hudson from The Office can do. And he says, oh, well, there's cupcakes, so it's going to be a good night. And I just, like, nearly pooped. Like, I couldn't find a single word. And like, here I am just like making eye contact with Stanley Hudson going, oh yeah, uh-huh. And then the crowd pressure seized and we passed. I was going to talk about eating cupcakes. So the crowd pressure seized and we passed, and I didn't even eat a cupcake. But I think one important note from Stanley Hudson is that, yo, if you want to eat a cupcake, then that's what Stanley Hudson from The Office wants you to do. And we should all just like have a cupcake. Eat a cupcake if you want a cupcake. So what Create and Cultivate did for me was I didn't get that big monumental conference high like I wanted. There were moments of the conference that made me just go like, what are they saying? There was one moment, and it was actually uttered a few times, in the entrepreneur, what a hard word to say, entrepreneur, on the entrepreneur track. It was mentioned a few times, like, do what you got to do to get your business off the ground, and, go max out your Amex, because I did, and go get $25,000 from your father-in-law like I did. And I'm just like, bitch, what kind of privileged moment is this? Like, that's not real life. I work at a financial institution, and that is not proper advice to give to young women trying to crush their dreams. So I want to go back to that Kim Kardashian moment where it's like, take no excuses, show up, don't be lazy. And that's, really all you got to do. Show up for your moments. How do you want to be there in your moments? Be present. You got to put in the work to get the work. So it was really like a conference of one-liners for me that I got out of it. One-liners that work, that are applicable. Like hydrate or die. So I think the big takeaway for me was like, yes, this entire conference was packed full of heavy hitters and like big celebrity moments. But what I got the most out of was, the everyday women that I had met, and just being around this group of women that were all, a part of the same mission and, there for the same purpose. And those conversations, those interpersonal communications that I had with like-minded women were much more relevant to me than like watching a shiny Chrissy Teigen on stage. I mean, like, yes, there was that motivational part, but I think, there was this broader sense of community. And, I've touched on before, like, this idea of internet friends. And this is kind of what it felt like. It was like making internet friends. But, oh my God, that never happens, where you can meet someone face to face before you're meeting them on the computer. And I think if it really taught me anything, it was, don't be afraid to like go at it alone. And don't be afraid to strike up conversations and things that, if you see something that inspires you or something that you love or something that sparks joy in you, like, say it. Because you'll never know who that person on the receiving end is, like, A, what their day is like, B, where they've been, C, like, even, their assumptions of you. And I think it's just like a gorgeous way to break down walls. And if you are walking around with like this loving kindness in your heart and spreading that, like, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. Like, when you're with your people that, aren't necessarily even your people, like, don't be afraid to break down that wall and give a little love. We're all just a little alone at a conference. Give a little love. And if you got this far in the pod, I'm impressed as fuck and really grateful to have you listening. If you want to know more information about me or the show, check out the show page on matriarchdm.com, where we host all of the What I Can't Take Off, our progressive Spotify playlist from the songs of the week, and obviously the reminder of who to follow for the week, all in a nice little fucking Matriarch digital media bow. Theme song is Molly May by Ben Karen. Like, I'll never get over saying that. It's so good, right? Thanks for listening. You're so cute.